Laziness ends up having a bad effect on many aspects of life. It can only be combated with forward planning and hard work. Even if you're lazy, it's not something you can't change. If you realize it and work hard, you can completely change your personality and become the best version of yourself. A lot of the time, obstacles and setbacks are good for you, allowing you to rethink your decisions and make better ones because of that. There was once a little bird who was very nice but very lazy. Every day when it was time to get up, they had to shout at him again and again before he would finally struggle out of bed. And when there was some job he had to do, he would keep putting it off until there was hardly enough time left to do it. People kept telling him, "What a lazy bird you are. You can't just keep leaving everything to the last minute." "Bah, there is really no problem," answered the little bird. "I just take a little bit longer to get around to doing things, that's all." The birds spent all summer flying and playing, and when autumn came and you could start feeling the cold, they began to prepare for the long journey to a warmer land. But our little bird, lazy as ever, kept putting it off, feeling quite sure that there would be plenty of time to prepare for the journey. That was until one day when he woke up and all the other birds were gone. Just like every other day, several of his friends had tried to wake him, but half asleep, he told them he would get up later. He had gone back to sleep and only woke up again much later. That day was the day of the great journey. Everyone knew the rules. You had to be ready to leave. There were thousands of birds, and they weren't going to wait around for anyone. So the little bird, who didn't know how to make the journey alone, realized that because of his laziness, he would have to spend the long cold winter all on his own. At the beginning, he spent a lot of time crying, but he had to admit that it was his own fault. He knew he could do things well when he put his mind to it. So, putting his laziness aside, he began to prepare for the winter. First, he spent days looking for the place that was best protected from the cold. He found a place between some rocks, and there he made a new nest, well built with branches, stones, and leaves. Then he worked tirelessly to fill the nest with fruits and berries, enough to last the whole winter. Finally, he dug a little pool in the cave, so he would have enough water. When he saw that his new home was perfectly prepared, he began to train himself on how to get by on very little food and water, so that he would be able to endure the worst snowstorms. And although many would have not believed it, all these preparations meant that the little bird did survive through the winter. Of course, he suffered greatly, and not a day of that winter went by without him regretting having been such a lazy little bird. When the spring finally arrived and his old friends returned from their voyage, they were all filled with joy and surprise at seeing that the little bird was still alive. They could hardly believe that such a lazy bird had managed to build such a wonderful nest. And when they realized that not even a bit of laziness remained in his little body, and that he had turned into the most hard-working bird of the flock, everyone agreed that he should be put in charge of organizing the great journey next year. When that time came, everything was so well done and so well prepared that they even had time left to invest an early morning wake-up song, so that from that day on, no little bird, however lazy, would have to spend the winter alone again.